very valuable. Great example of everything we discussed, tying it all together. Now I'm getting the hook, so I'm going to rip through these slides real quickly. The technology behind cloud computing isn't new at all. It's very old. What's new is the fact that most of us are now going to have to deal with context, software context, and content across 3 environments, hybrid environments. What you need to build, just like Phil talks about abstraction, you need to build abstraction layers, a cloud deployment platform that allows you to manage across multiple environments, because the economics of these environments will change, and you want to be able to move your applications, deploy your applications, your content across them. This is the challenge. The dirty secret of the cloud is there's no deployment platform. There's pieces of it, but you got to put it together. You can go on Gartner, look at the hype cycle, and there's probably 30 categories of things you have to be worried about for cloud computing, and everyone's at a different point in the hype cycle. And I mean, I look at it and go, are you kidding me? How am I supposed to explain this to my customers? Well, you don't. Here's a simple framework. You're looking at 3 things. And the 3 things you're looking at are identity management across these environments, workload management, and performance and monitoring. And if you use that framework, you start to piece together the pieces, because this is what will allow you to efficiently manage across hybrid environments. The oldest thing in data processing. I collect data, I input it, I process it, and I spit it back out. As old as it gets. We've been doing this for so long, behind our firewalls, we all do this so well, right? Nobody has problems doing this. Right? Nobody loses files, nobody overwrites files, nobody accidentally lets something get out. Well, guess what? What's new is you're going to have to do it across 3 environments now. It's much more challenging. So all the benefits of the cloud, remember, when you go in and sell your products and your apps to your customers, this is what they're thinking about. So your app is cool, but it's got to be cool in the context of what I'm showing you up here. Couple last slides. I show this slide and a bunch of infrastructure guys will sit there and go, oh, come on, you're full of it. There's no way we're going to move all this stuff out to the cloud. Well, here's the reality. That infrastructure guy sounds a lot like guys like I did 15 years ago saying, there's no way in hell you're going to do software development in India. Are you nuts? How the hell can you deliver software in India? Well, guess what? I got 1,000 people in India. They're doing an okay job. Infrastructure people who support this stuff will start to wake up. You should help them figure out what this really means. Just because the box is not behind your firewall sitting in a filing cabinet or a cabinet doesn't mean you don't have to manage it. In fact, you have to manage it. It's even more challenging because it's elastic and it's out in the cloud and it has to be protected. This is going to happen. The economics of it. CFOs around the country are beating on the heads of CIOs to lower their costs. We're running out of runway on our own railroads, I can tell you that much. We've virtualized it. We've done everything we possibly could. We've outsourced it. We got to start jumping on the digital railroad. 4 things that I'd leave you with to somehow figure out how to communicate to your customers and your business stakeholders more effectively. One is the cloud is not new. Technology-wise, the drivers are. All the stuff you're creating. 2, cloud computing is not optional. It will be the only option you have to process the amount of data that we're about to try to handle and exhume some value out of. Cloud computing, context-aware processing. You have to convince them of the opportunities out there. Do not wait for every technical answer about the cloud to be solved. Because while you're waiting, one of you guys in the room with 5 people in your shop are going to beat the hell out of you. And I honestly believe that. Everybody in this room can move a hell of a lot faster than what I can do with 1,000 people in India. I've got to start adopting this and getting excited about it and figuring out how to drive my business. And it's the cornerstone. I honestly believe, context-aware processing is cool, but it's cool when you're creating a customized experience for a community of people. And it's the convergence of these three things, and if we quilt it together right, we will transform business models like we've never seen before. This is what excites me. So I know it excites everyone in this room. Hopefully I've given you some view on how some of my peer group might be thinking about this, how your customers are peering. Who's the gentleman that spoke at the end of yesterday, presented his app, and he said, man, he goes, and after the presentation, he goes, my brain is scrambled. I'm like up all night just thinking about all the opportunities. I'm sorry, and I forget your name. Russ? Russ, I have to tell you, if you're confused and scrambled, think about your customers. You're lost. Last thought, everybody in this room, your time is now. Your time to sit at the table and to lead is right now. Don't let it slip through your hands, and don't take no for an answer. Good luck, and I hope to work with a lot of you.
We have a couple of minutes for some questions. If anyone has a question for Mr. Vito.
Oh.
Do we have the mics out?
Yep.
We have time for a couple of questions. If anyone likes.
I overran. I kept on seeing the hook, but I just ignored it. So, any questions?
Alex, run up there, bud.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Just production or an abundance of content.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily have a lot of value, and that's where some of that dilemma is. Okay, are they really collaborating? Or are they just really just talking?
So if you were here yesterday, I asked the question of I think it was Paul.
Yeah.
I said, so this is all great, the mechanics of it. You guys are doing a great job, kind of getting the plumbing working. But what about quality? Which is your question. How do I derive the quality? I actually think while you're on the cutting edge of context-aware processing and so forth, the next wave is the technologies that are going to be used to derive that value. I am talking to companies right now. Very interesting company, comes out of all places, the intelligence business. It's proven software. They're tracking bad guys all over the place. And they're doing it in a very unassuming way. Drop in, drop out. And what they're doing is, a friend of mine had started this company. He's going to use that technology and bring it into the commercial arena. And the value of it is just that. It can process and sift through using some natural language capabilities and other things, that newer technologies. I believe that's the next wave, because you're right. A lot of this is garbage. And we're going to have to, while you're creating this cool stuff, don't forget, look for partners, look for people who figure out how to derive the value in the technologies. Keep an eye out, because to be honest with you, your context-aware processing app might be cool, but for me, it's going to be a hell of a lot cooler if you've got something riding underneath it that can actually help me derive my value. And it's all about data. Any other questions?
Time for one more question.
Yep.
So you talked about your daughter leaving Facebook.
Yeah.
We've seen a whole bunch of different things come and go. What's your estimation of Facebook? Is it got a longevity, or is it another one of the things that we'll remember in a few years from now?
No, I think you're going to continue to see people ramp up on it. Well, for all the reasons, Steve, right? Gilmore provided to you. I think it's a pleasurable experience, and people still have value in it. I do think, though, he made an excellent point, which is we're getting overloaded. So people are going to find ways to continue to collaborate, but to do it in a way that's more productive for them. Who had showed me? We're talking about it. Friend feed. I have to be honest with you. So I found that listening to you guys. So I actually sent that to my daughter, because really they still want to collaborate and share, but they don't want to get overburdened, or they're starting to realize that there's some cost to sharing their identity. I don't think they think about it as identity. They just think about it as, well, all these people are just a pain in the ass. But it's actually translates to identity.